Most of us who've sailed have never had to use defensive storm tactics or storm equipment. We've probably carried drogues, we've probably all carried storm sails, storm jibs and trysails, but few of us have ever had to have used them. Well, when you go around the planet over 9 months, you're guaranteed to encounter all extremes of weather. Plenty of calms, but also some extreme weather as well at the other end of the spectrum. And so what we're required to do is carry both a drogue and storm sails, at least a storm jib. I'm also going to carry a para anchor. If you think of a drogue which would run out of the back of the boat, and we'll demonstrate that as part of this video, it's typically there for maintaining control in circumstances where, particularly in a following sea, the risk of the boat really exceeding its hull speed, perhaps going sideways down a wave and broaching, and ultimately being rolled. That's a potential risk in very large seas and breaking waves. And a drogue can be used to both assist in slowing the boat to a controllable speed and also keeping the stern of the boat pointed to the weather. However, if there is extreme weather on the nose, if you like, coming forward, one of the strategies there, of course, is to heave to, but in very extreme conditions that might not be tenable. Another possibility is to use a paradrogue, and a paradrogue is simply what that name indicates. It's like a parachute underwater, which effectively keeps the bow of the boat, the strongest part of the boat, pointed into the weather and effectively stops the boat apart from some drift. Now, I'm telling you more than I know because I've never had to deploy either a drogue or a para anchor, but tomorrow we're going to deploy both. There are really three elements to the para anchor. You've got these floats here and a float line. You've got the parachute itself here, and here you've got some braided nylon for securing the para anchor to the boat. In order of deployment, the first thing that gets deployed is the float lines, and if you like, the float lines, like this diagram indicates, float on the far side of the on the weather side, if you like, of the deployed anchor. At least the line comes out from that side. So that goes out first. The para anchor itself, the parachute itself, I'll simply undo this here and throw the bag and everything out, and the bag remains attached to all the tackle. You can see it's quite a bright little thing. This, what you're seeing here is, if you like, not the forward mount, but the end or the back of the parachute itself, and coming off the back of the parachute is, of course, this float line here. We're attached to those floats that I just talked about just a minute ago. So some pretty heavy gear and equipment, but that's the actual chute itself. And you can see, well, the chute itself is attached with some quite determined shackles here, and effectively what we've got is a web of lines which go out and support this 18-foot opening of the chute, which is then attached to the braided nylon, which is in turn attached to the boat. So the floats go out first, and the floats are really there to both identify that there's a para anchor in the water about 300 foot away. That helps, me as the skipper to know where it is, but also for any other shipping that might be unfortunate enough to be travelling as close as 300 feet from a yacht in clearly some difficult weather. The smaller float is a retrieval buoy, and this enables me to, motor the boat up to it to retrieve that, and to in turn pull the larger float aboard, which in turn will bring the back, start to turn the back of the chute around, and will collapse the chute, which will enable me to then bring the chute up onto the boat. So I'm now just going to talk about the way I've got this ready for deployment tomorrow. So tomorrow what you'll see me do is, first of all, throw out these float lines, followed by this open bag, and if it all works according to plan, the chute will emerge from the bag and start to open automatically as it peels out of sort of this opening there. And then what I do is I allow this heavy braided line, and there's about 300 foot of it, to follow the bag. There's a lot of pressure on this equipment, so it needs to be set up in a way that all of this does not somehow get tangled in all of this around here, otherwise that would be a problem. So how do you avoid that happening? Well, if you follow this braided line through, it's at the end of the day got to be attached to the boat, and it is attached on the foredeck with a bridle to the front cleats. And so I'll be literally throwing this gear out here on the windward side of whatever weather I'm confronting, and as the bag and the line starts to run out, because the boat will be this will be the weather side of the boat. It will be starting to float back and push back. This line here will break loose from a series of nylon supports onto the base of the staunchers. You can see a series of nylon ties which keep the line there. It's just easier to have all this set up before the event than trying to do it in the midst of some sort of hellstorm. And so it comes here and then comes through the roller, anchor roller, which I've got some chafe guard on, through this fair lead for the anchor, and then it's attached to a bridle onto my forward cleats, and you can see the bridle set up there. So that's the theory of how all this is going to work. Let's just see what happens. Well, here we are the next day, and it's light winds, really less than 10 knots, but probably good just for trialling. So the first thing that's going to go over here is these floats here, So anyway, here's the retrieve buoy, first one to go up, followed by it's not elegant, but let's see what happens. There it is out the back, and we'll just see. They say just keep a bit of tension on it, and it'll start to open up, and it seems to be doing that. Oh, there it goes. You can see that's opened up now. And you just hope this is all going to just come out okay. No knots so far, that's a good thing. And there's about 300 foot of line here, and soon it's going to take up and hopefully pin the retaining straps, those plastic straps that I've got. We just, as I say, just hove to here about 40 degrees off a very light wind. The last of the line just coming through now. Yep, you can see, and it's all the way back there. What's going to now occur is it'll start to ping off these retaining clips here. It should, you can see there's pressure there, ping one. Sorry about the environment in this. Another one just went. And naturally with a stronger wind, the boat would be drifting more with the wind. We can see we're starting to come around a bit now. It's hard to tell, frankly, if that's just a fairly windless day in seas like very slight seas like this, or it's got anything to do with this para anchor. Anyway, the idea is to trial this stuff and just see how easy or difficult it actually is to deploy. Backing backwards, in fact there's so little wind that we were actually floating towards it, and the line coming, we weren't lucky it was going to come under the boat. So we're just trying to simulate here, I guess, just the pressure that would be on. So that would be a chafe point there. I've got some chafe guard further down that you can see. There's not a lot of, an enormous amount of pressure on this, just idling backwards. That's my cameraman there, mate Ian, and I've just asked him to see if he can see much movement going on. Hopefully he's getting a shot of the parachute and not getting it tangled in his prop. Now for retrieval. The theory behind this is going to be interesting single-handed, but typically to motor up towards the buoys, those float buoys, and to, in motoring up while doing that, to be bringing in the line. The chute's still deployed, so the way to make the chute collapse is to get to the small float buoy and to give that a tug and bring it around so that the chute collapses. Okay, well, it's the same day. See, it's cleared up even, but it's a more clear day than it was before. And there are the remnants up front of the para anchor. A few good lessons learned out of that one, making sure there's equal amounts of tension on the bridle, key one. In retrieval, where I got the line actually under the hull, need to shorten the line more, and it should have come up closer to the chute itself before trying to retrieve the little float buoy. So a couple of things in there, and all of this of course is in very moderate seas. The trick is that you just got to take your time, and I'm not even beginning to imagine what this might be like if this was 30 knots with the prospect of something building to some other extreme conditions. However, a good bit of kit.